Dear students, this is once again Professor Dr. Zia Ahmed from University of Southern Punjab online lectures. And as you know that we have started with Shakespeare sonnets, and today's sonnet is 116 number. Number is not the title. The title is Let Me Not to the Marriage of True Minds. So that is the kind of title, as I suggested to you people, that the first line of any sonnet would be the title of the sonnet by Shakespeare. And again, I'm repeating that 14 lines of the sonnet are there, in which 12 lines present the problem. It is heightened with the passage of time, and the last line suggests to us some kind of solution of that problem. So similarly, it will be here, and very interesting sonnet indeed, because it goes to talk of something very different. Let us see how does it happen. The poet says, let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. So according to the poet, there are two types of minds. One, he has mentioned the true minds, and the opposite would be untrue minds. And according to him, if true minds combine together, by marriage we can mean real marriage also, and we can mean also pairing, combinations. He says in the love of the true minds which join hands together, there should be no impediment, there should be no obstruction, there should be no limit, there should be no damage if the minds are true. Now, this true mind can also be explained in the sense that if the people are really loving each other, if love is true love, then definitely nobody can stop it, nobody can limit it, it will continue. So that word, the very beginning line gives a statement, the very powerful statement that if you truly love someone, it's not possible that it may be reduced in any way. Why so? Because the poet writes, love is not love which alters when it alteration finds. He says, if because of the intervention of any person, for example, between the lovers, if any person comes and at that time the love may change, then he says it's not love at all. So he presents a problem which most of the people face, that when they start loving each other, they are the lovers. But all of a sudden they meet somebody else, the third party, as dear students, you might have experienced that when the third party comes, the love changes. Shakespeare says this is not love. It had not started with love. It was not the true mind of love. It was not the true marriage of love. That is why it altered. So according to him, if love alters, then it is not love at all. The second reason also he mentions about this, he says, or bends with the remover to remove. If third party comes and tries to remove, or some circumstance come, or some difficulties, or some other issues come, the love may change, then it's not love according to him. So human intervention or natural intervention cannot change love. Love is, according to Shakespeare, such a higher passion that cannot be ended, that cannot be closed with the human intervention or with any natural intervention. It cannot be changed at all. So no remover can remove love, no alter can remove love if it is true love. The condition is that if it is true love. Now, this true love finding will be really an issue. It's not possible. But Shakespeare is there to say that it's there, and if it is there, then nobody can stop. For example, he says, oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on tempest and is never shaken. Now, Shakespeare gives us a reference to some beacon light, some lighthouse rather. I think my students will understand what is lighthouse. You know, lighthouses were in the past time present in the islands of the oceans, and the light burnt there in order to show the path to the people. So lighthouses were fixed, and the boats were there to look at the lighthouses and fix their directions in order to go right or left or forward or backward. So in that way, he says that love is like a, very much fixed lighthouse. And the people are there like the wandering bark. Dear students, bark here is the boat. That boat, he says, if it is traveling in the sea waters, it can look at the lighthouse and find the way where to go, find the direction where to go. So that is why love is such a passion. But the condition is that love has to be so true one. According to Shakespeare, this is the highest status that we can assign to love, but if it is true, then it becomes a kind of fixture, a fixed place to which all the time we will be referring to. John Donne, in his poetry, many times referred to this type of love. For example, in one of his poems, he gave us a metaphor of compass. as he says that in the compass we have two needles, one needle goes forward and the other needle also moves little, but then the same needles come back to the center also. So in this way, even if the people separate, even if the people go sideways, if they have true love, they will come once again close to each other. So are you not realizing that the whole sonnet is actually talking about the true love? And that true love can never be broken, can never be altered, can never be shaken, can never be removed, because it is like a beacon light. That beacon light which helps the boats to see where to go. And beacon light itself is witnessing number of things. For example, what it is witnessing, the poet tells us in the line in the middle of the poem that looks on tempest and is never shaken. Two qualities, that it keeps on looking on the tempest. Tempests are storms which come in the sea. But the boat will be shaken when the storm comes. However, the lighthouse will not be shaken when the storm comes. It will remain fixed on its place. It's never shaken. So that is the strength and the power of the true love, that if it is there, the storms of the world, problems of the world, issues of the world cannot stop it, cannot change it. So in this way, supreme quality of love in the Platonic form of love has been expressed by the poet in the first half of this sonnet. Let us proceed on to the second half. For example, the line I read for you is, "It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth unknown, although his height be taken." So the lighthouse actually, first let us explain the lighthouse. According to the poet, the lighthouse is like a star. It is shining and every boat is looking at that shine, although they don't know what is the value of that star, what is the value of that lighthouse. Although they have just one thing in their mind, that this beacon house, this lighthouse is very high, very open. This is what they know only, but they don't know the real worth. Same is the case with the lovers, that if they have the true love, then this love guides them. This love shines for them like a star, although they don't know the true value, but still that is the way how the people will be combining themselves together, uniting themselves together, and facing the problems of the world together in the same way as the wandering boats in the sea water find their way after looking at the lighthouse. So the lighthouse has become a symbol, a metaphor of the height and the shine and the strength and the power of love. As the lighthouse is very high, it is going on, and people are sitting in their boats. They can have a look at those all lighthouses wherever they are available and change their direction also, and ultimately reach their destination. So lighthouse, it means helps the boats to reach their destination properly. Same is the case with love. If the true lovers are there, for them, it's not difficult to find their destination, their point of reach. They can find it very easily because the light of love is present around them. So in this way, love has been compared with lighthouse, and symbolically speaking, we can say that it is the single most important point which can turn the lives of the people, change the lives of the people, make lives of the people successful, and lead them to the proper path. This is what Shakespeare wants to say. It means, according to him, love is the only passion, if it is true, that can help us to grow faster, grow rightly, and prosper in this world as well. We will not be losing our path. We will not be moving about here and there. We will be going on forward very positively, right? So let us proceed further to the ending portion of the poem and look what happens in that ending portion. The poet says, "Love is not time's fool, that rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle compass come." According to him, love is not something temporary. It's not just like rose or rosy lips or the cheeks, which will fade after some time. When the time comes, they will fade when the problems of the world come. And in the same way, he says, it's not about a plant which, because of the bending sickle, it will be broken, it will be changed. It's not possible at all. So true love and permanence of love are akin to each other, similar to each other in meaning that if love is true, it will be permanent. It will not be changed because of time, because of space. It will never change at all. So it means that time can destroy anything. Time destroys life, time destroys the great kings, time destroys the steel things as well. But love is the kind of thing which will not be destroyed by time. This is the belief of Shakespeare that he has tried to bring before us. So in whole of the poem, what we are witnessing, permanence, strength, power of guidance of love that has been here. But what he says in the ending of the poem, that is significant really. Let us go to the end of the poem. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of the tomb. According to him, if the hours come, if the weeks come, it means time comes, years come, months come, whatever happens, love does not change at all. And he goes to the next important step by describing that love will exist even till the edge of the doom is there. I mean, doomsday, which you call Qiyamah. Qiyamah ke din tak it will stay. Such a long type of love, power of love, strength of love is there. He continues, let's read the next line. If this be error, and upon me proved I never right, nor no man ever loved. Shakespeare claims here that if I'm wrong, for example, Shakespeare tells to himself and to the readers also that if he's wrong in case of the matters of love, he says he will never say again once again. He will never fall in love with anybody. Same is the case with the true love. True lovers, for example, they also say that if they don't find true love, if they're not truly in love with someone, then they will not talk of love even. So it means that Shakespeare is only talking about true love. Look at the structure of the poem once again. If you can see, there's a rhyme scheme in the poem, like the ending lines of every line, ending words of every line, ending words of every line, and the sound which comes at the end of every line. For example, first line, minds. And if you look at the second line, it says what? Go to the second line, finds, the word is there. Sound are matching here, so AA is there. And same would be the case with the next lines, for example. If we see the word is shaken and fixed mark, then is the change in that, the sound changes. So AA, BB, it will be there. Shaken and unknown, the sounds are there. And then the taken sound is there. After that, we have the sound of fool, for example, and cheeks, for example. And if we go down the lines, we will be witnessing almost the similar kind of, that is weeks. Cheeks and weeks rhyme together. Doom will be rhyming with the next one. So in this way, a clear-cut rhyme scheme can be found inside that. And again, as in every sonnet of Shakespeare, we find that he is giving us 12 lines in a separate tone and the last 2 lines in a separate tone. In the 12 lines, he keeps on heightening or increasing the size, the volume, the power of anything he goes to describe. In this poem, there was a love matter. So in the first 12 lines, he heightens all that. And in the ending portion, he comes forward and says that he's talking about the true love. He says if he's not right, that true love has got the strength and the power and energy that can guide the people, help the people. He says he will never write it again. So he's so much sure that true love is all the time there. At least we can say in his poem that true love is existing all the time. And that is why the created art by Shakespeare has this kind of concept. We can also see that Shakespeare is using that Platonic concept of love, because Plato believed in soul-to-soul love. He was not interested in the body. He was more interested in heart, in the hearts, in the mind. That love which begins from your heart, from your mind, it is permanent, it is true, that he advocates in this sonnet as well. And in his poetry, in the sonnets, Shakespeare appears like that. And the similar kind of concept, however, mixed up with kind of physical activity as well, that is involved in his dramas, in his plays, as we witness in King Lear, as we witnessed in Hamlet, in many other plays by Shakespeare. The metaphors which are used by him, they're also quite significant. For example, the metaphor of lighthouse, which is used in this poem, that is also a guiding star. Similarly, he compares the love with the guiding star. And he also uses the metaphor of time, which definitely is helpful in destroying the rosiness, the beauty, and the color of the youth. He says, these things cannot destroy love at all if it is true. So the end of the poem is that, the last point of the poem is that he eulogizes, praises, and admires the kind of love, the true love. He says it should be there all the time available. If it is not, then there is no interest, no kind of life in life. Okay. Dear students, we have done with today's lecture also. Hope to see you in some lecture. Thank you.